Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. I had a little fun with Facebook this morning. Some message that says we cannot connect. What? Fun times. Fun times. So how is everybody today? How are you? My name is Joan. I'm the moderator of the Word I Am the Word Teachings Facebook page. It's me who you get to see on Sundays, every Sunday at 10 a.m. to share with you the teachings of the work of Paul Selig and the guides, also known as Melchizedek. It's my honor and my pleasure to journey with you and to share. Share an opportunity for all of us to delve further into the work and to really understand what they're teaching and to go forth and be that, right? Be our best selves, to show up as Word in the world. Word, the action of the Creator as and through us. Of myself, I am nothing. Right? So speaking of Word, let's just take a few moments to start out with that. So I invite you to either say the words after me or not, whatever works best for you. So I am Word through my body. Word, I am Word. I am Word through my vibration. Word, I am Word. I am Word through my knowing of myself as Word. Word, I am Word. I am Word through all those who have lost their lives to social injustice, to police brutality. I am Word through all those who are protesting, through the grief, through the fear, through the anger. I am Word through it all. We're talking today about the presence of the divine being in everything. The divine is in all. The rock, the tree, the one you love, the murderer. The divine is in all. There is never a moment without the presence of the divine. We're not our history. We are not our future. We have this present moment now. And what we do in this present moment now, how we be, how we serve, how we know ourselves, how we show up, that's what we have now, this moment. How can I show up as the best version of myself? How can I show up fully as one love? Or maybe a better way to say that would be, please help me show up as one love. We talk about often how what we bless blesses us back. Let's bless. It becomes then the cycle, right? We bless. I bless you, you bless me, I bless you, you bless me, and we get to heal each other in this way. And we talk often about how this isn't just air, it's the quantum field, right? It's the network. We can't see it, or if you're very clairvoyant, you can. But it's a network. And what we put out, what we speak, goes into the network. So let's be present to what we speak and how we feel. I got a lesson recently on, I was having dinner with some friends, and somebody was talking about, I don't even know what, and my face was neutral, but the energy I was putting out was essentially me rolling my eyes. And one of the people I was having dinner with is reads energy, like, for a living. Kara Torres, she's my teacher, and she called me out. She's like, I can see that. And so it was like, you know some things, like, oh yeah, I know that. And then you get this teaching about it, and you're like, oh, yeah. So, you can take that into you go into the store, or you drive by people who are protesting, or whatever the case may be, and you feel like, I'm word, I'm word, I'm word. And those are the words that you say. And yet inside, you're this bundle of like agitation. So what do people pick up on? The hi that you say to them with a smile, or the agitation, right? Have you experienced that? Or you walk in somewhere, and somebody's looking at you with a smile on their face, and you're like, yeah, I'm not walking over there yet. Right? Have you experienced that? And so it's a great awareness of like really being present to all of ourselves, not just the smile I might put on my face. I'm sure you've noticed, right? For yourself, sometimes you laugh, and the laugh is just like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to laugh because everybody else laughs, right? And so it's just greater awareness as we rise in frequency, as we do this work, a greater awareness of like, oh yeah, they're picking up on the fact that in my head, I'm like, what are you doing? Right? It's another opportunity for us to really stay present, or for sure for me, to really stay present to what I'm putting out. And it's like, it's interesting to do that. It is really interesting. Try it. You know, you're going in. My dad. I've talked about a couple of times. My dad has vascular dementia, and his short-term memory is bad. And so we saw him yesterday, and we're talking about our dog, and he's like, "How old's your dog?" My dog's 14. 20 seconds later, "How old's your dog?" 14. And he probably asked it like 5 times. And not consciously, I can say, if I look at it now, I was aware on some level of trying to stay, of being in that place of presence to the present moment, because that's all he knows. He knows nothing about 10 seconds ago. Well, that's not true. He can talk your ear off about 20 years ago. 10 seconds ago, not so much. Right? So staying present to say, in the one love, yeah, Daddy's 14. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I love you. Yeah, Daddy's 14 in my mind. So my dad has been an excellent teacher of this. Is it frustrating to say the same thing? Yeah. And then I get the flip side of that. What's it like to be him? He has some awareness that he doesn't remember things. We're all one. So what a tremendous teacher for me and my wife. And my sister. What a tremendous teacher. Staying present in this moment now and seeing him through the eyes of love. And staying present to how I'm showing up for him. What I bless, what you bless, blesses you back. And so we have those moments with our kids. If you have kids, why is that? What is this? Da 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 da. Mom, mom, mom. How are we going to show up in that situation? People angry in the line in front of you. So let's use what we've learned. If you're here listening to me, I'm assuming you've read at least one of Paul Selig's books, or you have an awareness of what he teaches. But we're talking today from the book that's out in August. If you've pre-purchased the book, you can get the first 2 chapters. Just go to Paul Selig's site if you don't know about that. Right? So they say, why do you ask questions? What will come of me? What will happen one day? How will I know if? What am I to do if? We look at those questions in the conversations we just had. What will come of me? What will happen one day? Where are those questions coming from? This present moment? Are we in this present moment if we were to ask those questions? In my opinion, no. We're in tomorrow or the next day, next month. What's going to happen in our world? How will we change? How will we grow? Well, when can we do any of that? Now, in our awareness of who and what we are and how we show up. So what the guides say is, when the moment you sit in is the only moment you may know. The moment you sit in is the only moment you may know. Everything else is conjecture, barely an idea. You summon opportunities to grow, to learn in the moment you sit in. And each moment is the opportunity to know the presence of the divine that is always here. As I say those words, the presence of the divine that is always here, I just feel my heart expanding. And they say underline always. There is never a moment without the presence of the divine. Although your availability to it, through persona, personality, identity, may be diminished by your fear, by your idea of what is so, and the importance you give to an outcome that has not yet come. By our fear. If we look at the future, we don't know. But where can we heal? Where can we know? Where can we be in union? Now. This present moment. Now. Somebody might ask, well, how do we do that? How do we stay present? How do we not worry about fill in the blank? We heal the separation in ourselves. We heal the parts of ourselves that show up as feeling separate from our union with the divine, with Source Creator God. Sometimes being in service might show up as you healing yourself for an hour or 20 minutes. So again, what we bless blesses us back. As we bless ourselves, as we maybe heal the fear and the judgment for ourselves before we go out into a crowd, we've now blessed them. And we release our attachment to the needing to know. And I certainly am in that boat. I like to know before I go. Right? I think I shared with you the story about, we were going to play pickleball. Well, I wanted to know how to play before I went to play. I wanted to do like this test run before I played with my friends because I didn't want to look foolish in front of them. I probably looked foolish anyway, right? So we release that need. And for me, it shows up as like the need to control. If I know what's going to happen tomorrow, I can be better prepared. I can maybe control the moment, which is like comical. Am I ever in control? No, not so much. What I can control is how I show up in my union with the divine before I appear somewhere. I wake up in the morning. I say my prayers. Before I get on the phone call with a client, I align myself to the union with all that is. That's what we can do. Staying present now. Tomorrow will resolve itself. The next hour will resolve itself. And us worrying about it, me worrying about it or fretting about it, serves no one. Certainly not me. Back to the book. Each of you here, in your own way, have come to be sung in a new voice. This is a new term, but it's an important one. Sung in a new voice, beyond the echo or residual effect of personality that you have determined so steadfastly must be who and what you are. Now, the dismantling of persona is a process, and we don't make personality wrong. You have one, it's yours, but it is not you. And this is the key to the teaching. You have one, a personality. It is yours, but it is not you. And the claim you make, I know who I am, is a decree of truth when comprehended as what it has always been, the announcement of being. Put it that way, the announcement of being, I have come. Say that with me, yes? I have come. You came to realize through encounter, through opportunity, perhaps through obstacle, the truth of who and what you are that exists beyond the shell, beyond the mask of personality that you have claimed as you. It's sort of at a very early age we learn. Maybe you were taught not to talk to strangers. Maybe you were taught not to cry. And then that becomes like so ingrained at us that we may find ourselves 30 or 40 years old and like, oh yeah, I never cry at sad movies. Somebody might say, why? And you're like, I don't know. My parents taught me not to cry. The truth of who and what you are that exists beyond the shell, beyond the mask of personality that you're claimed as you. And you must understand that each of you who comes in his or her own way is contributing to the whole by nature of your presence here. As the divine informs each aspect of self is called into being in a higher way. A transition occurs, and what you thought you were is actually released to become the truth of your expression. I have come, I have come, I have come. So we could look at our lives and go, okay, well, where is what I learned in the past continuing to manifest in my life now? And is that the truth of who I am? What are we taught, or maybe not you, but I was taught at an early age, what don't you talk about with people? God, politics, guns. Do I talk about politics with people now? Not so much. But I honestly think that's a conscious choice on my part. And I'm not really around people who talk politics, so that also contributes to that. Do I talk about God? Actually, I do. But then I get to say that and I go, okay, well, when do I talk about God? I talk about God with my friends. I talk about God with you. If someone were to ask me, do you believe in God? Yes. And by the admission of talking about it, am I doing that as the adult that I am today? Or the 7-year-old, the 10-year-old that was taught that many, many years ago? It's just something to look at as we do this work, to look at what shows up for us. Where is our mask? Where do we have the walls up? Where are we still creating fear for ourselves and the false premonition that it's going to keep us, the false idea that it's going to keep us safe? If I don't let you in, I can't get hurt. Well, maybe you can't get hurt by me by not letting me in, but how are you hurting yourself? If I don't try for that job, if I don't do this new thing, then I don't have to experience the failure. But then you could look at that deeper and go, well, actually, I sort of do, because I failed myself by not even trying. If we truly knew ourselves as one with Source Creator God, as one love, in complete union, there is no fear. And I'm not there. But each day is an opportunity to release more of that which doesn't serve me and stay in the present moment. The dismantling, wow, it's 10:30. Okay. Now the dismantling of persona, while a process, is actually joyful. Once you understand that all you are releasing is an idea of who you have been, or told you were, think you are and should have been. Simple ideas that have been so weighted, so agreed to, that they have weighed you down. And the testament to this is the vibratory accord that you base your experience through. You base your experience through the agreement to the low octave that you have been aligned to. And the agreement to this, the guarantee of this, the promise of this is evidenced by everything you see. When the divine is reknown in any instance, struggle is released. Period, period, period. When the divine is reknown in any instance, struggle is released. Sit with that for a minute. When the divine is reknown in any instance, struggle is released. So we're going to end with this claim of truth, and I invite you to say it with me. I am word through my willingness, through my intention to be one with Source Creator God, with the divine. I'm word through my intention to know myself as one with all beings everywhere. Word, I am word through this intention, through this claim. Word, I am word. I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth. I know how I serve in truth. I am free. I am free. I am free. I'm in the upper room. I have come. I have come. I have come. Behold, I make all things new. When the divine is reknown in any instance, struggle is released. Word. Thank you for joining me this morning. Thank you for shining brightly. Thank you for working to heal the world. Thank you for your service. And thank you for journeying with me. I appreciate you. I see you. And I know who you are. I am word. I am love through all those I see before me. Word, I am word. Have a great day. Know yourself as one with all that is.